go all day about how Joe Biden is putting Donald Trump and the Republican Party to shame in terms of right-wing politics, as he always does, right? But Marjorie Taylor Greene did something very interesting. She introduced articles of impeachment for Joe Biden. Let's see. I'll put the headline up here. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing what the progressives should be doing. I put out a tweet. God damn, this fucking website. NBC, your website is fucking trash. Jesus Christ.
It's terrible.
Anyway, so here it is. I finally got it to work. Here's the headline. Marjorie Taylor Greene introduces article impeachments against Joe Biden. Now, I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to show you why this article's impeachment is deeply unserious, which is extremely unfortunate, because you can impeach Joe Biden over any fucking thing he's doing right now, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, being the op that she is here to obfuscate and pretend that Joe Biden doing crazy left-wing shit, that's why he needed to be impeached. We'll get to that here very soon. But I had a tweet I sent around 2020 where I said, man, the squad and Bernie, I'm pretty much done with them. But I would forgive them if they go hard in the paint against Joe Biden after endorsing them. Guess what? They did not do that. I even said that I want Bernie Sanders to be the one who introduced articles of impeachments against Joe Biden when he commits a war crime that we know he will do. Him funding genocide that we know he would do. So it should be Bernie Sanders introducing articles of impeachment against Biden, but he won't because he's a complicit coward. There should be articles of impeachment against Joe Biden for funding Nazis in Ukraine, for bombing the Nord Stream pipeline. But guess what? That's what not Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't care about that either. All that hoopla from Marjorie Taylor Greene criticizing Biden on Ukraine. You want to know what this is about? He put in some bullshit articles of impeachment over the border crisis.
What?
Look at this.
Unserious.
Unserious. Out of everything you could get on Biden. Nord Stream pipeline bombing, arming Nazis in Ukraine, arming Taiwan, violating the one China policy that's been on the books for decades. Look at this. They introduced articles of impeachment against Biden over his handling of the migrant crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border. You mean the same way Trump handled it? He's been implementing Title 42. You guys are freaking out because Title 42 is about to come to an end. Marjorie Taylor Greene, how long has Biden been president? This motherfucker has Title 42 on for years. He deported more Haitians in 1 year than Donald Trump did in his entire term. He spent more on ICE and border security than any president ever. More than Trump. He's spending $6 billion more than Trump. What you guys do not want to admit is that your guys' strategy of handling migration does not work. Don't matter how much money you pour, how much weapons you do, no matter how much humanitarian crises you guys create, how much human rights violations you guys commit, you guys will not solve the problem until you guys end imperialism, until you end sanctions, which is the root cause of this. But Marjorie Taylor Greene is so unserious, she's not introducing articles of impeachment because of Biden trying to overthrow Venezuela for his sanction war. She's doing it over the migrant crisis when Biden's policy has been very similar to Donald Trump. Unserious, and this is why people like Marjorie Taylor Greene are ops. They're here to obfuscate, to mislead people what real criticism of the ruling class is. CJ, you have anything else you want to add? Because I got one more part to this. You anything else you want to add real quick?
No, but I mean, yeah, I do kind of, but because it speaks to the part about Marjorie Taylor Greene, because it's so reminiscent, Nick, of the impeachment trial of Trump. They had so many things to impeach him on, and then they went for these very low-hanging, garbage sort of articles. Because this is the reason they do that, is because they're really unserious about the critiques and the impeachment and what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing. She really is unserious because she's not really trying to really go against the establishment, really go against the powers that be, the ruling class, the donors. She's not really trying to do that. Remember, she's one of the top donors, or she used to be at least.
Yeah. How are the right wingers coping with the fact that Joe Biden puts Donald Trump to shame in terms of upholding right wing ideology and ideals? Joe Biden is legislating to cross an ideology. He's spending $6 billion more on border funding than Donald Trump. Facts over your feelings, conservatives. Repeat after me. Joe Biden is spending $6 billion on border more than Trump. This issue cannot be solved with authoritarian capitalist ideology. It doesn't matter if you spend $26 billion, $30 billion, $50 billion. The only difference is you're going to create more humanitarian crisis as the border crisis escalate, because this is a crisis of U.S. imperialism, you deeply unserious clowns. Are we clear? So let's hear the right-wing argument now that I made that clear. Let's hear what she's had to say.
Now think about this. Democrats impeached Trump over a phone call with Zelensky. A total abuse of the impeachment clause. But if what Biden has created purposefully tonight in El Paso and Del Rio and Brownsville, if that's not considered impeachable for what it's done to the sovereignty of the United States, I don't know what is.
She's talking about the border, guys.
Now think about
She's pretending that he has an open border. This is what they keep doing. As he's funding the border more. You guys know they do have this event around every June or so. It's like the border Comic-Con. I'm serious. It's a border expo. Let's see if I can find the website. Border expo.
Nick, this is a propaganda. This is a ruling. This is how you know the Republicans, both sides, are doing a dance, because they know clearly he is not at all open borders. They know clearly that they can read, Nick, but this is the dance. This is how Democrats are able to slip shit by. Yep. Because if Democrats are doing real terrible shit, but the opponents are saying that's milquetoast, you see the dynamic that they're playing? It's to sell terrible shit as milquetoast. 1994 crime bill.
Guys, this is the Border Security Expo that they have every May. In 2021, I haven't paid attention to the most recent one. In their event, they was like, dude, it's unbelievable all the new toys that we are getting under the Biden administration. These are like direct quotes from people who are border security nerds. These people are extremely passionate about fascistic behavior to the point where they attend a border expo the same way I would attend a Comic-Con event.
Did you get the last tool of oppression? Did you get the last tool of repression?
No, for real. Go to this website if you ever want to see some comically tragic shit. They look at all this. I saw the 2021 site. They made a lot of changes. They was bragging about the robot dogs that they was working on.
Oh my god!
And they was like, "Oh my god, robot dogs are so sad! I can't wait to stick that on a human." Oh Jesus Christ! Man. This is the people during the Biden administration. They're talking about how they're thriving. But people think this is an open border. The dumbest people in politics, man. That's why I hate liberals so much, because I want them out of the way. You know how easy it will be for us to slay the idiotic right-wingers?
Yeah.
But liberal ideology can't, because they agree with them on so many things. So when I remember I work on the brain campaign, I'm like, man, if only we beat this motherfucker, I can't wait to get the truck so I can expose this motherfucker. But we never got that battle. We will never get that battle because liberals get in our fucking way. Liberals are here to defeat the left so they can lose to the idiots on the right. Liberals go along with this bullshit, guys. If you listen to CNN, so MSNBC, they're like, yeah, Biden, he need to address the right-wing criticism about open borders. They go along with it.
Yeah.
But you see, to us, it's laughable because all you gotta do is read a goddamn book, read an article, read anything, really. Anyway,
read a TV guide to do something.
Anything. Have your analysis grounded in some sort of reality. Like if you look at Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool's Twitter page, their Twitter page is a reality where Biden is not doing these things, and it's not like they have their analysis and they also bring this up. you know they're being dishonest because they will never bring up the border expo shit.
Right.
They will never talk about the numbers. They will just say, "Oh, Biden has an open border."
What does that
It's
mean?
It's nonsense.
What does
But
that mean?
and by the way, do you guys know that
Yeah.
ICE was created under George W. Bush Jr.?
Mm.
ICE is younger than you are. ICE is most likely younger than you are. So every president, according to you guys, before George W. Bush had open borders. You guys understand? The Roman Empire, they did not have tight border enforcement. I am begging you guys to read a book. Modern borders, as we know it, is a new construct that was really fortified during the Industrial Revolution to benefit capital, to control the flow of workers. This border shit is new. That's why it don't make sense to me when people say supporting closed borders is a socialist ideal, when Marxist based his analysis based on how indigenous people lived when indigenous people didn't have tight closed borders.
Right.
I am begging people to read a fucking book. If you're a Marxist or socialist and you advocate for closed borders, you don't know what the fuck you are talking about. That is not how Marxist societies that Marx praised lived. That is based on European Industrial Revolution programming. And they also carved up Africa. The borders on Africa led to intense strife because European colonized the continent, drew up borders that didn't exist, separated tribes, put tribes with enemies next to each other. They destroyed Africa with this nonsense of borders. But people who consider themselves anti-imperialist worship borders? Could someone explain this to me? Because I actually give thoughts to stuff. I don't allow the mainstream
conventional thought
Overton window influence my thought. People say, "Oh, open border is toxic. It's scary. I don't want to think about it." No, I will think about this, and you gotta prove me wrong. And I haven't met anyone.
I don't understand it. I like just from an innate, like I don't get not having a border stopping people from crossing into this particular part of ground. What does that do to me? What does that do to me?
One last thing, because like white people will openly say this shit. I am not straw manning. They will openly say this shit. They want closed border because they are afraid of demographic change. They call it the white replacement theory. Why should we be worried about the fucking white displacement theory?
Yeah.
How does that serve us? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? And I'm asking you this question. How does it serve us to limit our movement? I'm an advocate of open borders, a lot of it because I'm selfish, because I want to get the fuck out of here. I think if you don't mesh with the culture, if you don't want to live under your oppression, you should have the freedom to move. Why would anyone be opposed to that? White America is opposed to that because they're afraid of white people being replaced as the majority. I am not straw manning. They literally say this all the time on Fox News. I am not straw manning.
Yeah, in different ways. They dress it up into something else.
No, CJ, they don't even do that no more. They just straight up say that Democrats want to replace demographics, and we gotta resist that. We can't have demographic change in America. That's what they say. I'm not straw manning. That is literally what they say now. They don't even like hide it anymore. That's what Tucker get criticized for. And I'm like, okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. I'm not. That doesn't impact me at all. I advocate for our ability to move around because like protecting demographics does what for us, CJ. Now, if you're white and you watch this in horror, too bad. I'm saying, what does that do for us? Protecting demographics in this country. So it does. It's not in my interest.
In horror. That word is just so funny.
They caught stuff first on channel 2. We heard about the algorithm, but also need to shut my mouth on some issues. On some issues, I need to shut my mouth.